Hey there, car enthusiasts, and welcome to our sports car channel. Today, we're taking a closer look at one of the most iconic supercars of all time, the 1989 Lamborghini Countach 25th Anniversary Edition. If you love high-performance vehicles and breathtaking design, you're in for a real treat. And if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. This is a 1989 Lamborghini Countach 25th Anniversary Edition. It is undoubtedly the most iconic, ridiculously insane exotic sports car produced in the 80s, and today I'll show you why. Today I'm going to show you the Lamborghini Countach, show you all of its weird chips and cool features, and there are a lot of them. But before I start, a little history lesson on the Countach. The Countach came out in 1974 and was sold until 1990. That means you could buy this car for 3 decades. Not many exotic supercars can boast that. The original design of this car looked very simple, created by Marcello Gondini and Studio Bertoni. Lamborghini kept this car fresh simply by continuously changing it, constantly updating it with new wheels, arch extenders, huge wings, and added power. The Countach of recent years barely resembled the Countach of earlier years, and it was the craziest Countach of them all. A commemorative version in honor of the model's 25th anniversary, which came out in 1989. It had these huge air intakes on sides, huge body kit, huge wing. It was absolutely ridiculous. Interestingly enough, the designer of this version was Horacio Pagani. Maybe you have heard of him. Nevertheless, if collectors prefer earlier versions of Countach for their simple look and tidy design, I always liked this one the most. Because to me it was the most ridiculous example, the most ridiculous car. The anniversary version was also the most powerful. It had a 450 horsepower 5 and 2-liter V12, instead of just the 370 horsepower 3 and 9-liter V12 of previous models. I also always loved it for all its quirks, which I'll show you now. You might recognize this car from the hit film, The Wolf of Wall Street. It's hardly surprising that Scorsese and his team found this particular car perfectly suited to The Wolf of Wall Street. What else could better demonstrate the broker's supernatural wealth than the new and fastest Lamborghini Countach of the late 1980s? But it's not just the model's history and exceptional specifications that make the white Lamborghini Countach from The Wolf of Wall Street special. What's also striking is the way the producers treated it. First of all, the white Lamborghini Countach 25th Anniversary Edition in The Wolf of Wall Street was not a prop. The producers did not replace it with a replica and used a real sports car for the filming. Second, the Countach played a significant role in one of the most memorable scenes of The Wolf of Wall Street, when Jordan Belfort drugged himself and got into his Lamborghini. At first he thought he was driving the car perfectly, but in the following shots we see a thoroughly wrecked Countach and find out how it really was. But most importantly, the producers used a real car throughout the movie, including a series of crashes that resulted in serious and real damage. They must have decided to go for it to make the scene look as realistic as possible. You have to admit, the idea succeeded. I will start from the outside with perhaps one of the most interesting things in the Countach, the side windows. As you can see, there are many. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The only problem is that this window, and this window, they don't open. And this window only opens halfway. Let's talk about opening the doors. Yes, these are scissor doors, which means the hinge is right here. They open upwards. It's quite easy to open them. There's a silver button that sticks out. You push it and just pull it up. Not difficult at all, but realizes the mass hysteria every time you park the car and get out. Difficulties begin if you have locked the door and need to open it with the key. Lamborghini have placed the keyhole at the bottom of the silver button, and to unlock or lock the door you walk up to your Countach all cool and then you have to insert the key under the silver button, which doesn't look particularly cool. Then you turn it, unscrew it, and then you can get in. Another one of the most ridiculous features of the Countach is its cute little klaxon. Listen to this. Often Italian cars of the time had a horn like this. But I think that with this most desperate, most aggressive styling was combined with the most ridiculous, squeaky, silly horn. I can't believe it sounds like that. Next, we need to talk about the mirror setup. Curiously enough, this car has power mirrors. They adjust from a little switch on the driver's door, but it only moves the mirror glass itself. If you want to move the rear mirrors, they are attached to the car on this little rubber thingy. You can bend them in any direction. It's ridiculous. It looks just like a cartoon. It's a $300,000 supercar. Another interesting detail at the front of the Countach is the hidden headlights, because naturally, this supercar from the 80s will have hidden headlights. If you look at the outline at the front, you'll notice a couple of lights. These are the turn signals and the parking lights. Press the headlight button inside the car, and the main headlights, hidden headlights, immediately go up as you would expect if you want the most excessive 80s feel. Let's move on to the back of the Countach. I'm sure you're already aware that the engine is in the back under this hood. Obviously, everyone knows this since this is a mid-engine car. And what you might not know is that the trunk of the Countach is not in the front, but instead the trunk is in the back here. And it's surprisingly spacious. This car looks crazy when both of those things are open, doesn't it? In Lamborghini's mind, the engine cover can't be closed while the trunk is open because of that huge anti-wing they've put on there. Now that you know what's in the back, you might want to know what's in the front. There's a little luggage compartment, which you can even put something in. There's a spare, all sorts of other things, like a horn, barrels for liquids. But the curious thing about this particular compartment is that it's completely open to all the elements. You might notice it's all wet because the car has been driven before. There's no insulation. It's strange that this is where Lamborghini decided to put the battery. It's a clever decision to put the battery in a compartment where water can easily get in, but that, gentlemen, is part of the charm of the Lamborghini of the 80s. Another interesting solution from Lamborghini concerns the license plate lights. When this car first came out, the license plate lights were not yet mandatory by law, but over time they have become. So Lamborghini had to accommodate the car. Most automakers place them here on the visor above the license plate, but the Countach doesn't have one. So they made a hole and installed the lamps in the bumper. Look around at any car you see. I suspect you won't find many cars with license plate lights on the bumper among them. Also talk about the rear end, above mentioning the crazy tires on this car. I realize you're not particularly interested in the tires, but this car has 345 rear tires as wide as any modern supercar. Except they don't fit only 15-inch wheels. These are 345x15 tires. Needless to say, you can't just pick up and buy tires for this car from your local tire shop. And the final exterior chip you're looking at now, from this angle you can see the best. The rear window of this car is tiny and the rear view as a whole is absolutely terrible. It's just ridiculous. You can't see anything in the back when you're backing up. Of course, the chips aren't just on the outside of the car, but when you get inside, you notice all sorts of crazy things. Starting with the first thing you notice when you get inside. It's the right angles. There aren't any curved lines in this car. Nothing in the interior is designed with style. And there you have it, our review of the legendary Lamborghini Countach 25th Anniversary Edition. We hope you enjoyed watching and learning about this amazing car as much as we enjoyed driving it. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Your support means everything to us, and we can't wait to bring you more incredible cars and stories in the future. Thanks for watching. and we'll see you in the next video.